So you read the thumbnail right. I was banned from an eBay Facebook group, and we're going to tell you all about it here. So without any further ado, let's go. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And for those of you who have not subscribed to my channel, like 75% of you, I am a full-time eBay reseller, and I make these videos to sort of bring topics to light, let you know kind of what's going on in my eBay life, and maybe, just maybe, you can learn from my experience. So in this particular video, I want to tell you guys about a situation that happened earlier this week where I was banned from a Facebook group, and Archie Biscuit Butt, he sort of turned me on to, hey, here's this group, here's that group. And before that, I was sort of looking at the eBay community boards and maybe looking at YouTube videos. It really never dawned on me to look at Facebook groups, something that I would do after my day is done, maybe about to turn in and I'm just watching videos and looking up eBay information, maybe finding nuggets that I can share with you guys. I think it was the second or third day after I signed up for these groups. One particular group in question is where we had the issue with. And so I'm gonna bring Archie on, and we're just gonna tell you a story, what happened. You know what? I have screenshots and I might provide them in this video, but I just want you to consider one thing, and this is the takeaway from this video. It's not a whining video. It's not about whining or anything, because things happen. This is not the first time that I'm going to be banned from anything, because I do speak my piece, and sometimes I guess that doesn't sit well with people when I address things I don't think are quite right. But as far as the takeaway from this, I want you guys to really know that my whole point in bringing this to you and sharing this experience with you is just to make you think twice when you do join these groups. Before you comment, and maybe this is something I could have done a little differently, maybe taking a look at some of the previous posts and threads and to see how the admins interact with the other people who are just really trying to contribute or find an answer to their particular problem. And maybe, just maybe, consider if you want to be posting in that type of environment or be involved in that type of a Facebook group. So I'll let you decide. So I'll bring on Biscuit Butt right Well, now. Thanks, Archie, for joining me today. As mentioned just a few minutes ago, we had a situation that happened earlier in the week where you had introduced me to a few different eBay Facebook groups, and this one in particular, eBay Members Assistance / Venting, is a group. And it seems kind of like the kind of group I'd like, because a lot of the content on my channel is sort of has to do with venting about eBay policies and giving assistance. So there was a post that I believe you initially responded to, and your goal was to try to clear up misinformation. I guess the information that was being given out, or the question that the poster had, was had something to do with the amount of time that a buyer had to return an item. Does that sound right?
Yeah. So basically, she was basically venting about a situation that she was dealing with. And the last sentence she wrote was in the form of a question. And it basically just said, so how much must this go on? How much longer must this go on? So
as far as as far as how long they had to return the item, that's what she was referring to.
I think basically just like, how much longer do I really have to wait for this customer to decide to send this back?
Right.
Because she was basically just talking about how she felt it was just somebody that was trying to extort her for a refund. But of course, she's going to wait for it to come back, if my memory serves me correctly. But anyway, the gist of it was just, in her opinion, a problem buyer. And she just wanted to know how much longer, do I have to really put up with this? So all I did was I simply just responded with 5 business days after the date of when the return says that she must have it shipped by.
Right.
That's all I put, and from what I've actually gathered from multiple reps that I've spoken to, that's the new eBay policy right now. It's not written that way, but that's the policy they all follow, is if you are given until July 15th to have it shipped back and they didn't ship it back, then eBay will wait 5 business days to actually have it automatically closed for you.
Well, my understanding, it is written that way, in that you had contacted another YouTuber, a very popular one, and you had contacted him on Instagram and made mention to the actual written policy, and we're told, well, that's 18 months old and they need to update it, something like that, right?
Yeah. And basically there was still a discrepancy on what the policy actually is. So it's all over the board. I mean, even if you call the reps, not every one of them are on the same page either. So right. That's a little frustrating, because I can still call and still get a rep that will just go ahead and the day after they were supposed to have it shipped back by, and they'll close it for me. But then a week later, somebody will actually follow the policy.
And just so you guys out there know, the policy we're talking about is the amount of time a customer or a buyer has to return your item. So let's say they buy, a $50 item of yours, and 2 weeks after they receive it, they go in for whatever reason, regardless of the reason why they're opening the return, they open a return. The way eBay policy works is, from the moment that buyer opens a return, they have 15 days, that's calendar days, to actually have that item put back in the mail. Doesn't mean it has to get to you. There has to be some tracking information on that return label that either you provide or they pay for, depending on how you have your return set up. And so what happens is, eBay then gives the buyer a 5 business day grace period on putting that item in the mail. It's like an extra bonus 5 business days before they will actually close the case. Now, just real quick to give you guys some background, and I'll put up a screenshot here that of one that I had dealt with on the 19th of June. A buyer opened up a return on my item, and they gave them 15 business days, but that 15th day fell on Sunday the 4th. And I guess what it happens is, they will not allow that 15th day to fall on a weekend or a holiday. So because the 5th was a holiday for the U.S. Postal Service, they actually gave them until the 6th to actually return the item. And then once that didn't happen for me, I just called eBay that following Friday, I believe it was the 9th, knowing the policy, knowing, that's probably not going to happen. But I got a rep saying, yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and close this for you. No worries. They assured me that they're going to close it for me. And I kind of knew that it wasn't going to happen. Next day, they told me 48 hours. Next day, nothing. Day after that, nothing. And the following, I believe, Tuesday is early, like 3 a.m. is when that email was sent to me saying the case was closed in my favor. So that, hopefully the screenshot I showed you will give you an idea or illustrate kind of what we're talking about. Regardless of what your understanding of the policy is, this is what's actually happening. And the dispute was that in this forum, that the eBay members assistance / venting forum on Facebook, the assertion was made that Archie was wrong in saying that the buyer had 15 days to get that item back in the mail and another 5 business days before eBay closed the case. Does that sound about right?
So what happened was, I put my comment out there, because, I absolutely enjoy going onto all these different groups and either just hearing about somebody else's situation and just kind of comparing it to things that I've dealt with, or even what I may deal with down the future. So they're very helpful, but not only that, I'm able to give a lot of advice, also just from things that I've encountered. So either way, I've been able to help and people have been able to help me. But this was one of those situations where I'm very confident that I gave them the correct answer. Again, I didn't know 100% their case details, as far as when the date it was supposed to close out. But again, I know that all cases are the same. They give you 15 days. And then after that is when I just stated that it's 5 business days after whatever date it says that they should have it shipped to you by. So then what happened was an admin of the group actually responded to my comment and just said, not necessarily. So I responded back, well, correct. It's not necessarily the way it will happen, because yes, you can get that one rep that will just go ahead and close it out for you, or they can obviously get a hold of their credit card company and still do a chargeback. So again, of course, it's not necessarily, but that still is the policy. If you do nothing, it'll time out 5 business days after the date of whatever they're supposed to have it shipped by.
Correct.
Well, this admin then just decided to go ahead and tell me that I'm giving false information. And all I did was I simply said, then what's the right answer? Her answer to me was, well, I don't know.
This is the admin, Amy, right?
Yeah, Amy.
So for those of you who don't know the group, there's a bunch of admins. One is Amy with the standard spelling. I'm not gonna give you her last name, but if you're a member of that group, you'll know who we're talking about. And there's also, others. I think there's more than one Amy as admins, but it was Amy that was talking to you, correct?
Yeah. So anyway, she just told me basically that I'm giving false information. So I asked her, I said, then what is the right answer? Thinking maybe she knows something I don't. Mm-hmm. And her answer to me was, well, I don't know. I don't know the case details. So of course, my next response to her was, if you're the admin of this and you're telling me that you don't know the answer, but I'm giving false information, then why even allow comments if you're not going to let me try to at least help her? It just made no sense. Mm-hmm. Why are you trying to censor me on giving an answer?
Right.
If you're going to tell me that I'm giving false answers, then you have to know the right answer.
You think?
So anyway, we went back and forth just like then, and it was pretty cordial. There was no name calling or anything like that this time. Mm-hmm. It was more of she just wanted to keep telling me that I was giving wrong information, then shut the comments off. Because then, according to you, well, she told me that I gave a blanket statement, which I don't think she knows what the word blanket statement means, because I couldn't have been more accurate with giving an accurate amount of time that you have.
Right.
But anyway, what it all just boiled down to was, it was one of those where we're just going to agree to disagree. So finally, just let it go. Right. Well, 24 hours later, I'm actually with my family. We're getting ready to go see a movie, and I get a notification that somebody responded to something that I said, but this time it's a different Amy, spelled differently. Right. And the comment she wrote was, how the F is anybody supposed to know the case details? Now, unfortunately, I let my ego get in the way, and I decided
this is where you were out of line. So let's let the.
I'll be the first one to tell you I was out of line. I could have just let it go.
Right.
But my ego got the best of me, and of course, my response was, since you asked, how the F I know is, and then I just stated the policy again. So then from there, it was just a couple of, comments. So, oh, wow, did you get triggered? And, just those type of comments. But right. Amy, the admin, then decides to heart her comment to me, right, with her using the F word, and then put a heart emoji, and then put a mad face emoji on mine. Now, obviously there's some bias going on. Right. Because I wound up getting banned because the next comment Amy, the admin, said was, really, Archie, cussing? And then I got banned. Right. So now, again, I accept the fact that I got banned because for a few reasons. A, I'm sure I broke one of their rules, which was no cussing. Yeah. I'm okay with that. But B, I don't really want to be part of a group if an admin is going to sit there and chastise me for me attempting to help another member. It's just a group I don't need to ever be part of again, because it's just going to continue to happen.
Right. And I reached out to Archie, and he had said that he can't say anything because he thinks he was banned. And I confirmed that. Just, I guess you go on and check the list of people on the group. So I replied to the post of the thread, and I said, and I directed it at this Amy admin, and I said, hey, look, I said, I'm seeing that you're kind of attacking Archie here, in that two adults were out of line using the curse, the F word, and um, as an admin, you shouldn't be hearting one and downvoting the other one, and especially you shouldn't be taking action against one member versus allowing the other member to slide. It's almost like you're involved in this what do they call it, the good old boys club kind of thing. You can curse all you want, but if you say something, I don't like you personally, I don't like your viewpoint, we're going to go ahead and censor you and get rid of you. And it's almost like, it almost feels like, as this particular admin, if I'm not able to give the answer, I don't want to hear your voice, kind of thing. Um, and it's unfortunate. A lot of these admins out there that are in these groups, they really need to have their data together, their information together, and be ready to provide you with a link to the policy. Now, I want to shout out another admin from a different group named Renee. We kind of didn't hit it off too great at first, and she probably still thinks I'm not a very good guy, but I was trying to correct the policy in a different thing altogether, and having a different discussion. And she shared something with me I wasn't even aware of, and I did apologize because I was wrong. I have no problem apologizing because I don't know everything, but I do tend to use eBay policy. And when eBay policy has something written specifically, I'm going to follow it. And unfortunately, in this particular other situation, this policy had another offshoot of the policy, and I wasn't aware of it, and therefore my confusion. But see, these admins, they get on here and they don't even want to refer to eBay policy. They want to go off of what they think they know. And unfortunately, if you give out bad information to someone who's just on there looking for an answer, they're going to go run off and try to do what you just told them to do. And then if they fail, it could be money out of their pocket. It could be, no longer having trust in trying to reach out to ask people for help, because, they're finding out that no, they handled it all wrong, all because they followed your advice and you didn't follow eBay policy. And even
Now here,
go ahead.
now here's the reality of it, though, John. Is if I'm the admin of a group like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that somebody's giving out false information, then either A, I'm just going to mention it in that thread, or B, I'm going to reach out privately and just say, hey, FYI, and show them the policy, which Amy, the admin, didn't do. Correct. All she wanted to do was berate me and tell me that I'm telling blanket statements. She shot the fires. She shot fires at me, and I didn't at all.
Right.
So the frustration out of all this too is, I began to really trust and have great banter. Well, not banter, but have great conversations with a different admin in that group. So I did privately reach out to this person and just say, hey, can you just go back and read that thread? This was before I got banned. This was before, right, the other Amy decided to chime in. But I just said, hey, can you read that thread and just kind of tell me if you feel I was out of line in any way? She got right back with me. She says, I am so embarrassed. She goes, you should not have been treated like that. This person has absolutely had this situation happen before. I've had people reach out to me. She tends to want to be confrontational. So, that probably fed into my ego the next day to decide to keep going at her about that situation, because I'm like, oh, well, she's already got this bad rap, but in the end, and you'll tell the finishing part of the stories with your emails.
I want to say that in no way did you ever call anyone names. Did you ever?
No, even when I used the F word, I did not call somebody a name.
Right. I mean, it wasn't directed that way. It was sort of like just repeating the quote that they had used back in your sentence, but you weren't putting anyone down or demeaning anyone. Again,
well,
I say that
I did eventually.
Well,
I
but
after they both started attacking me, all I put was, "Wow, the Amy's are either ignorant or I didn't say stupid, but I said either ignorant or clueless or something
yeah,
to that effect. I don't know. I can't go back and look now,
I
but
think
you guys can.
I think I remember Clueless, but but I guess what I'm saying is, I think both you and the other Amy were out of line for using the F word, only because
100%.
you have younger people, maybe in high school or even junior high, kids that are very impressionable and are trying to maybe resell trinkets and things like that, and see that kind of thing. So that's where I kind of was bothered by, but not so much at what was said, more of how it was handled. And so I reached out to Amy and I said, Amy, and I made sure I tagged the admin Amy, not the one who started cursing at you, or cursing towards you, because I don't think she was cursing at you, but just the word verbiage that she used. But I said to the Amy, the admin, I said, what's going on here? I don't quite see how you should ban Archie here when both adults were at fault here. I just don't like, from the outside looking in, I just don't quite like the way you handled the situation.
And
And
mind you guys, you can go back and find this thread unless they deleted it,
yeah,
and you can see how we're telling the truth.
and I didn't get a response from her at all. And I did tag her in my thread. So, a day went by. I was talking to Archie, and it wasn't that big of a deal, but I said, it just doesn't sit with me. There is another admin who's posted things that they've actually pinned. And I thought that person might have maybe been in charge of the group. I don't know. His name is Jared. And I sent him a message saying, hey, this is kind of what happened. It was out of hand. It shouldn't have happened. And I just don't think it was right that you guys would boot a member. And he didn't really do anything that would warrant being booted, unless you're booting the other person as well. And no more than 5 minutes later, I get a message from the Amy, the admin, a DM, saying, so you've got all sorts of things about me, but nothing to me, or to say about me, but nothing to me. And it's like, no, I sent you a message. I tagged you in a message. You never got back to me. So that told me you had no interest in engaging in conversation with me. So I was going to take it to another admin or someone who might be in charge of this whole operation and get them to reconsider how they handled it. Because, see, for me, it's I want to be a member of a group like this if I see that all parties are being treated fairly. If you have a scenario where someone gets on there and they're being attacked, especially by admin, when they're either A, trying to help others, or B, trying to get help, I have a problem with that. Now, if you're on there trying to troll people, if you're on there trying to make trouble, maybe you're giving bad information and it's obvious you're giving bad information, then certainly the admins should get in there. And but even then, there's some certain tact that they should use, and they shouldn't just try to, make you look silly or whatever. They have ways of muting you if you're a problem, but just going in there and attacking others because they don't like the fact that you might be right, or you've corrected them, because there are admins out there that give bad information, unfortunately. And that's sort of the whole gist of this video. I just want you guys to be careful. Next time you join a group or ask for help in these groups, kind of look at some of the other posts to see how others have been handled before you do that. Or you might be putting yourself into the same position that we were here. Now, as a result of all this, we went back and forth, Amy and I, and nothing was said bad to each other. It was more of that she thought that I was attacking. She thought that Archie was attacking, and therefore, the sort of what I gathered was it was like guilt by association. So, because you didn't come to me to get me to clarify this, which I did, but she never responded to that thread. Because I went to Jared, and I'm not buying a diamond ring, but I went to Jared and I tried to say, hey, what's going on here? She thought that, how dare I overstep her? And I asked her, I said, I didn't violate any rules. I mean, it's certainly nothing wrong with going to an admin, one I think might be in charge, to try to straighten this whole thing out, because obviously you're not replying to me. So we kind of went back and forth, and I couldn't really even understand where she was coming from. But I gave her some screenshots of her own words on that thread and said, hey, let this speak for itself. How is this appropriate? And, she's came across saying pretty much because it's okay for me to react to comments that I feel appropriate. That was her own reply to um, giving a heart to the first person and a angry face emoji to Archie. And so, guess what happened? She banned me because I didn't go to her and I guess try to beg for forgiveness or straighten something out. But I didn't do anything wrong. And again, it was like, what did I do wrong to get a ban? Because I went on, to go back to look at this thread or other threads, and I couldn't get on this group. And it's not a big loss to me. I don't want to get back on this group. And honestly, I wanted to talk to you guys. If you guys are a member of eBay members assistance / venting, there's better groups out there. Like the one that Renee, I'm not gonna give her last name, but she's in this group. And she's like almost on every post and she's very helpful. You need groups with admins that are going to help you and be patient with you and not overstep their power of the label of admin. And, the same thing goes with YouTube channels. Be very careful. There are still very popular YouTubers who not only give out bad information, they are adamant that their information is so correct that eBay, I think you were told by this one YouTuber about the policy we discussed with the returns and how long a customer had. He told you what?
It was actually 30 days after the day that it timed out.
Right. So this YouTuber was under the impression that a buyer, once they open a return case, they're given 30 days. I just showed you a case where they were given 17 days. That's because that 15th day fell on a weekend and a holiday when USPS wasn't open. So, it's just, and they told you that eBay was wrong and that it's an 18-month-old policy. They changed it a year and a half ago, and eBay needs to update their policy, right?
Right.
And I could tell you,
he was saying that they have 30 days to actually ship it back, and all I said was, okay, well, the written policy says they have 15 days.
Yeah.
From when they open the return. And he said, no, that's inaccurate. And I said, well, that's the written policy. He goes, I don't think that's a written policy. So I screenshotted it and sent it to him. And his and I's reaction was not anything bad. I mean, it was just going back and forth. And then once I showed him the screenshot, he just said, oh yeah, they need to change that.
Right. And it's not just, in the corporate world, it's not something where you can just up and go and update the website. All policies that are written are sent up to that company's law department to make sure that things are written appropriately. There are no, there's no mistakes in the verbiage, and there's everything that's in the verbiage meets local or national or U.S. law. Okay, and then it's posted on the website. So trying to get something, and I can tell you from my own experience of running my own department in a large corporation, just trying to get something verbiage changed on a website is like an act of God to get it done. So it's just not that easy. But nonetheless, that's the policy. Not only is that the policy that a lot of reps follow, and they should, but that's what eBay is programmed to do. Like the screenshot I showed you and what actually happened, the automated process where that case was found in my favor, it's programmed in there. This is what's actually happening.
But I will still urge everyone, call eBay, get the, I guess it would be the wrong rep that will close it out that day for you. But it happens. I mean, if you really want to get it closed out, you can call.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't care, just let it time out. There's
a lot of reps that just don't truly understand that 15-day policy and what it means. And, they're trying to explain the policy that they don't understand, and they're not acting on it. Like the guy I got told me he was going to close the case and, promised me, and then I'll see something in 48 hours. It never happened. And it didn't surprise me either. But, if you can get someone to close it for you, then, hey, by all means,
so
great.
You know where I really do see some of the discrepancy between the reps. I do find the ones that are usually from the Philippines area or whatnot. A lot of them aren't sellers,
Right.
so all they know is what the script says, and if it's 5 business days, there's nothing they can do. The ones that I've actually been able to close out that day or within 24 hours has always been from the US or even somewhere in, I think I had one guy that was in Ireland, and they're eBay sellers. They understand what we go through.
Right.
And I don't know how or why they have a little more leniency to be able to do that, but that's where I've had more luck on them actually going around policy and closing it out for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But, hopefully we kind of gave you an idea here. I was banned, Archie's banned. They can take their ban and do whatever they want with it. I'm not losing sleep over it. I thought, a lot of you might out there say, well, why did you spend so much time on this? I just came out with a video about utilizing your time and not wasting time.
About me.
Yeah. Well, but that video was, really designed during your work hours. So a lot of this was done after I was done for the day. And, whether I'm out and about doing this or that, or on a Facebook group trying to get some knowledge or to pass on some knowledge, it shouldn't matter. So save those comments, comment down below, but save those comments.
Yeah. And if you guys have any Facebook groups that you think that we might not be part of that is very beneficial, put that in the comments too. Let us know.
Yeah.
Because I love these groups, most of them, because there is valuable information that either I get or I can give.
Right. Right. And then of course, the information we find or the information I find, I try to then package up in one of these videos and bring it to some of you who may just not have, you're working a full-time job, you do this part-time. The idea of you going on a forum on Facebook or, the eBay community boards just to try to learn more and to get better is just not possible. So therefore I try to package these things up that I learn and bring it to you guys. But I just want, for those of you who are on some of these boards, especially this eBay members assistance vending, just be careful and post on those boards where there's really helpful people and not people who are just trying to be blowhards, I guess, for the lack of a better term, or have their own little cliques where they want to hear from them, but not from you. It's just not right. It should never be that way. So Archie, I want to thank you for taking the time to kind of clarify this. Hopefully we've entertained you a little bit. Sometimes it's not the end of the world when you're banned from something. And it's like, hey, if I'm not wanted here, I certainly don't want to be here. And I don't mind going somewhere else. So that's the takeaway from the message today. And again, thank you, Archie, for being part of it.
Hey, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Always enjoy your videos.
So there you have it. That's our side of what happened. Of course, you're not going to get the side of the admins that were involved in this story, unfortunately. But of course, we have the screenshots, and I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way. It's not a video about us whining about a particular group. It really didn't sit well with me, the way that this went down. And had I looked at other threads, I think I may have been able to say, this might not be the group for me. It turned out afterwards, a message was sent to me by this Jared, the admin, and he had said to me something to the effect of, that you have a 30-day ban and I will unban you after 30 days, or you can apologize to Amy. And I said to him, I said, look, I don't have nothing to apologize for. Frankly, I wanted to bring it to your attention because I thought maybe you would solve the problem and make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again to somebody else. But I don't want to be a part of a group that is going to treat people this way. So I don't care about your ban. And frankly, based on just our little banter back and forth, this is an obvious situation. Why would you ever ban someone from a group that really is only sticking up for somebody else and what happened to them? Of course, if they want to ban Archie or ban someone else, that's certainly their decision, but don't ban someone that is just trying to get some clarification and to understand why this is happening. And the fact that I didn't go back and apologize for something I didn't do and bring it to an admin's attention. And I tried to speak to her directly in the thread, and she wouldn't reply to me. So makes you kind of wonder, she didn't want to have that discussion in front of thousands of people on that group. She wanted to have a private discussion because she wasn't making any sense whatsoever. And that goes for YouTube content as well. You know, pick your YouTube channels wisely. Watch what they're saying. If you know the policy or you're being told policy, go onto eBay, help and contact, find the policy out yourself, verify that the YouTuber is giving accurate information. I make it a point to go onto eBay's own policy, understand and read the policies and bring it back to you guys. I make it a point that I want my information to be 100% accurate before I bring it to you, because you guys rely on channels like this to give you information because you just don't have the kind of time to research it yourself, and I respect that. So guys, what do you think of this content? Please comment down below. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that notification bell. I want you guys to have a great rest of your weekend, but I'll be putting out something here in the next few days. I'm not quite sure what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure that the way things go with me, something interesting is going to happen. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, no matter what or how you get your information, whether it's YouTube or Facebook groups, just know that flipping ain't easy, and we're going to talk to you here very soon.